Welcome to Beyond the Battleground, the podcast where history's greatest minds meet across the ages. Today's episode brings together two titans of the ancient world: Alexander the Great, the Macedonian conqueror whose empire stretched from Greece to India, and Cyrus the Great, the visionary founder of the Persian Empire. Though separated by nearly 2 centuries, their legacies are timeless, their stories intertwined by the echoes of conquest, leadership, and ambition. Through the magic of imagination and modern storytelling, we bridge the divide of time to bring you a conversation that history never allowed, a meeting of minds that shaped the ancient world. Now, let us step into this extraordinary moment and listen as Alexander and Cyrus share their wisdom, their rivalries, and their reflections on greatness.
Greetings, seekers of knowledge and inspiration. Today, we embark on a journey through time to engage in a dialogue with one of history's most revered figures, a leader whose vision and wisdom laid the foundation for empires and inspired generations to come. I am Alexander, known to some as the Great, and it is my honor to converse with Cyrus the Great, the architect of the Persian Empire and a pioneer of leadership that balanced strength with compassion. Together, we will explore the principles of leadership, the art of governance, and the enduring legacies of power. This is not merely a conversation about the past, but a reflection on the lessons that transcend time, lessons that can guide all who aspire to lead and shape the world. So join me as we delve into the mind of a legend and uncover the truths that define greatness. Let the dialogue begin. To start our conversation, Cyrus, you unified the Medes and Persians and laid the foundation for one of history's first great empires. What inspired you to take that first step toward conquest?
My inspiration was rooted in a vision of unity and harmony among diverse peoples. I believe that strength lies not in division, but in the coming together of different cultures, traditions, and skills. The Medes and Persians, though distinct in heritage, shared a common destiny, a destiny I was determined to forge through leadership grounded in respect and justice. I was inspired by the dream of an empire where the strong would protect the weak, where the oppressed could find refuge, and where every individual could contribute to a shared prosperity. To me, conquest was never merely about expanding borders or accumulating wealth. It was about creating a foundation for something greater, an enduring legacy of peace, stability, and mutual respect. When I took that first step toward unifying the Medes and Persians, I understood the weight of the challenge. It was not enough to wield a sword or command an army. I needed to win the hearts of my people. Through fairness, diplomacy, and a deep commitment to the well-being of all, I sought to inspire loyalty not through fear, but through trust and admiration. My actions were guided by a belief that a ruler's duty is to serve, not dominate. By respecting the traditions of those I sought to lead and ensuring that their voices were heard, I was able to build a foundation for one of history's greatest empires. This was not merely a feat of power, but a testament to the idea that humanity, united in purpose, can achieve boundless greatness.
Your vision of unity and leadership is as inspiring as it is profound, Cyrus. In many ways, I see a reflection of my own aspirations in your words. A desire not merely to conquer, but to create a lasting legacy of harmony and progress. Like you, I have always believed that the true strength of an empire lies in the diversity of its people, in their combined wisdom and shared purpose. Yet, while your journey began with unifying the Medes and Persians, my path has been one of continuous expansion, striving to bridge not just neighboring cultures, but entire civilizations. Where you lay the groundwork for respect and justice, I have sought to bring Greek ideals and knowledge to the farthest reaches of the known world, integrating the wisdom of East and West into a single cohesive vision. I wonder, Cyrus, as a ruler who sought to serve rather than dominate, how did you reconcile the inevitable conflicts that arise when cultures collide? How did you navigate the delicate balance between preserving the traditions of your people and guiding them toward a shared destiny? I would hear your wisdom before I ask you my next question.
Ah, my friend, you touch upon the essence of leadership, the delicate art of harmonizing diversity without erasing its beauty. When cultures collide, as they inevitably do in the forging of a great empire, the challenge lies not in suppressing those differences, but in weaving them together into a tapestry that reflects our shared humanity. I approached this task with humility and a listening heart. When I entered a new land, I sought to understand its customs, its beliefs, and its people's dreams. I respected their gods, their traditions, and their way of life. This respect was not a mere gesture, but a principle, a recognition that all peoples have something to contribute to the greater whole. At the same time, I understood that an empire must have a shared foundation. I sought to unite my people around universal values, justice, fairness, and mutual respect. These principles served as a common language, enabling us to transcend our differences while preserving our unique identities. Conflict, of course, was unavoidable, but I believe that conflict need not always be met with violence. I often turned to dialogue and compromise, striving to find solutions that honored the dignity of all parties. When war was unavoidable, I fought not to annihilate, but to bring stability, and I extended a hand of friendship to those who had been vanquished. Guiding a people toward a shared destiny required patience, wisdom, and a willingness to adapt. I was not infallible, but I learned from my people as much as they learned from me. Together, we built something greater than any one culture, a vision that endured because it embraced the strengths of all. Remember this, my friend. A ruler's true strength lies not in bending others to their will, but in inspiring them to walk a shared path, even when the terrain is unfamiliar. That is the art of leadership, one I hope others will strive to master in their own journeys.
Your words resonate with a profound truth, Cyrus. The strength of an empire is not in the suppression of diversity, but in its celebration, a lesson I, too, have sought to embody, though perhaps through different means. Like you, I have walked among the people I conquered, learning their customs, respecting their gods, and embracing their wisdom. I have even taken elements of their culture into my own dressing, as they dress, eating as they eat, and honoring their traditions as if they were my own. Yet, my friend, I must admit that my path has often been one of fire and sword, of swift victories and bold gambits. While I have strived to bring unity through respect and inclusion, I have not always had the patience to build consensus as you did. Perhaps it is the pace of my ambition, the relentless drive to see the edges of the known world united under one banner, that has led me to seek quick resolutions where you sought lasting harmony. Still, I wonder, Cyrus, if I have succeeded in inspiring loyalty as deeply as you have. In your time, you planted seeds of unity that bore fruit long after you had gone. In my own journey, I have often feared that the bonds I forged may unravel without my presence to hold them fast. Tell me, great Cyrus, how did you ensure that the unity you created would endure beyond your reign? What steps did you take to build an empire that would stand the test of time, even as its architect departed this world?
Ah, Alexander, your words carry the weight of a soul deeply introspective, a quality rare in conquerors, yet essential for those who aspire to build something greater than themselves. I understand your fire, for ambition is both a gift and a burden. To seek the edges of the world is no small dream, and the swiftness of your conquest is a testament to your brilliance. But your question touches the very essence of legacy, a question every ruler must answer in their heart. For me, the foundation of lasting unity was trust. I sought to rule not through fear, but through fairness and justice. My laws applied equally to all, whether they were my closest kin or the furthest subject. I respected the autonomy of the lands I brought into my empire, allowing them to keep their traditions, their leaders, and their gods. In doing so, I planted seeds of loyalty that were not tied to my person, but to the ideals my rule embodied. I also surrounded myself with wise counselors and capable leaders, men and women who understood my vision and were committed to carrying it forward. I chose those who ruled not for personal gain, but for the good of their people, and I ensured that my successors were prepared not just to wield power, but to bear the responsibility that came with it. Above all, I built institutions that could outlast any individual. The policies and systems I put in place were designed to endure, to adapt, and to bind my people together, even in times of uncertainty. An empire must be more than its ruler. It must be a living organism, able to grow and evolve beyond the life of its creator. Yet I will not claim perfection. The seeds I planted needed careful tending, and some may have withered over time. But I trusted in the strength of the roots, the principles of respect, justice, and mutual prosperity. These were not bound to me, but to the empire itself. Alexander, the bonds you have forged are mighty, but they too must find their anchor in something greater than yourself. The fire of conquest can ignite the beginnings of unity, but it is the steady warmth of governance that keeps it alive. Trust in the wisdom of those who come after you, and build not just for your lifetime, but for the ages to come. That, my friend, is how an empire endures.
Your wisdom humbles me, Cyrus. You ruled with a vision anchored in trust, justice, and enduring institutions. Principles I see now are the true foundations of an empire's longevity. While my conquests have been swift and mighty, I realize that lasting unity cannot rest on awe or loyalty to one man alone. Your legacy of respect and fairness has shown me that the fire of conquest must give way to the steady warmth of governance. I will carry this lesson with me as I strive to build not just an empire, but a future worthy of enduring. Your words reflect a leader who understood his purpose deeply, Cyrus. Tell me, did you always see yourself as destined for greatness, or was your vision something that grew and evolved as you journeyed through the challenges of leadership?
Alexander, I thank you for your kind words, and your question strikes at the heart of what it means to lead. I did not always see myself as destined for greatness, not in the way the bards and historians might now write of me. My youth was not filled with dreams of conquest or visions of an empire, but with an instinct for survival, a curiosity for learning, and a deep desire to understand the world around me. Yet as I grew and faced the trials of leadership, my vision began to take shape. It was not a lightning bolt of revelation, but rather a steady flame, kindled by the challenges I encountered and the lessons they imparted. I saw the suffering of divided peoples, the waste of potential in constant conflict, and the fear that ruled over so many lives. It was then that I began to believe in a greater purpose, one that would unify, uplift, and inspire. I came to understand that greatness is not bestowed by fate or lineage. It is a choice, a series of actions taken with purpose and conviction. Each challenge I faced, each ally I gained, and each enemy I overcame added clarity to my vision. With every step, I learned that true leadership is not about ruling over others, but about serving them, creating a foundation where they can thrive. So, no, Alexander, I did not always see myself as destined for greatness. But as my journey unfolded, I chose to walk the path toward it. And as I walked, I came to understand that the measure of a ruler is not in the size of their dominion, but in the legacy they leave, the ideals they plant, the justice they uphold, and the unity they inspire. You too walk such a path, Alexander. And while it may differ from mine, remember that greatness, however you define it, is not static. It evolves with every choice you make and every challenge you embrace. That is what gives it meaning, and that is what ensures it endures.
Your journey, Cyrus, is a testament to the evolution of purpose and the choices that shape destiny. I wonder then, as you walked this path and your vision grew, did you ever face moments where doubt clouded your resolve? How did you find the strength to choose greatness time and again?
Ah, Alexander, doubt is the shadow that walks alongside every great endeavor. Yes, there were moments when it clouded my resolve, moments when the weight of responsibility pressed heavily upon my shoulders, and the path ahead seemed fraught with uncertainty. To lead is to bear not only the burden of one's own choices, but also the hopes and fears of countless others. It is not a light mantle to wear. There were times when I questioned whether my vision was too ambitious, whether unity among such diverse peoples was truly possible, or whether I was the one destined to bring it to life. Doubt whispered in the quiet hours, as it does for all who dare to dream beyond what others deem possible. But Alexander, I found strength in the very people I sought to serve. Their struggles, their aspirations, and their faith in something greater than themselves inspired me to press on. I reminded myself that doubt is not a sign of weakness, but of humanity, a moment to pause, reflect, and recalibrate one's course. It is through doubt that we find clarity, and through reflection that we rediscover our purpose. I also drew strength from the principles that guided me, justice, respect, and the belief that leadership is not about seeking glory for oneself, but about creating a foundation for others to thrive. These principles became my compass, steadying me when the storms of uncertainty threatened to pull me off course. And there were the lessons of the past, the stories of those who had walked similar paths before me. Their triumphs and failures reminded me that doubt is not an obstacle to greatness, but a part of the journey. To choose greatness, one must confront doubt, not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Ultimately, it was my belief in the greater vision that allowed me to overcome doubt. When the path grew dark, I focused on the light of what could be a world united, a people inspired, and a legacy that would endure. That belief gave me the strength to take the next step and the next, until doubt gave way to resolve. So Alexander, know this. Doubt will find you as it finds all who strive for greatness. But in those moments, look to your principles, your people, and your vision. They will be the strength that carries you forward as they carried me.
Your words resonate deeply, Cyrus, and your resolve in the face of doubt is inspiring. Yet I wonder, how did you balance the roles of a warrior and an administrator, each demanding in its own right? Which of these roles did you find more fulfilling as you forged your legacy?
Alexander, your question touches upon a delicate balance that every ruler who wields both sword and scepter must navigate. The roles of warrior and administrator are two sides of the same coin, each essential in forging and sustaining an empire. Yet they demand different strengths, and the tension between them can weigh heavily on a leader's soul. As a warrior, I found purpose in the thrill of the battlefield, the camaraderie of my soldiers, and the clarity of a single goal: victory. It was in these moments that I felt the raw power of leadership, the ability to inspire courage and determination in the face of uncertainty. War as directed demands action, decisiveness, and strength. There is a certain purity in the battlefield, where a leader's mettle is tested in its most primal form. But war, Alexander, is only the beginning. A conquered land must be nurtured, its wounds healed, its people brought into the fold. Here the role of the administrator emerges, a task far more subtle and enduring. It requires patience, empathy, and a vision that extends beyond the horizon of immediate gains. To me, this role was just as vital as the warriors, for it is through governance that empires are built to last. As fulfilling as the life of a warrior may be, I found deeper meaning in the responsibilities of administration. To create laws that were fair, to resolve disputes with wisdom, to ensure that every corner of my realm flourished, these acts gave purpose to the battles I had fought. The true measure of conquest is not the number of victories, but the lives transformed in the unity achieved. Balancing these roles was no easy feat. I relied on trusted generals to lead campaigns in my stead when my attention was needed elsewhere. Similarly, I empowered capable governors and advisors to oversee the administration of the empire when war called me to the field. Leadership, after all, is about recognizing that one cannot do everything alone and placing trust in others who share your vision. If I were to choose which role I found more fulfilling, it would be the role of the administrator. The joy of seeing a diverse people united under a banner of justice and prosperity surpassed even the triumph of victory in battle. To forge a legacy that endures, one must look beyond conquest to the art of creation, the creation of a realm where peace, stability, and opportunity thrive. So, Alexander, remember this. The warrior may open the door, but it is the administrator who builds the house. Both are vital, but it is the latter who ensures that the house remains standing for generations to come.
Your insights into the duality of leadership are invaluable, Cyrus, and your wisdom in administration is as inspiring as your victories. Among those triumphs, your conquests of the Lydians and Babylonians stand as brilliant examples of strategy and leadership. Can you share the secrets behind your success on the battlefield, the principles that guided you to such enduring victories?
Alexander, the battlefield is both a crucible of character and a stage for strategy. My victories against the Lydians and Babylonians were not merely feats of arms, but triumphs of careful planning, understanding my adversaries, and the disciplined execution of principles I held steadfast. The first principle I embraced was preparation. A campaign begins long before the clash of swords. It begins with knowledge. I sought to understand my enemies, their strengths, their weaknesses, and their patterns of thought. Against the Lydians, I recognized the impetuosity of Croesus, who assumed the winter season would halt my advance. By seizing the unexpected and pressing forward, I turned his assumptions against him. The element of surprise and adaptability are often mightier than numbers. The second principle was unity of purpose. My armies were composed of many peoples, each with their own customs and traditions. To forge them into a single, cohesive force, I made them believe in a shared cause, that our campaigns were not for plunder alone, but for the establishment of a just and enduring order. A soldier who fights for something greater than himself is far more steadfast than one who fights only for gold. Third, I valued innovation. Against the Babylonians, I faced the challenge of their mighty walls, an obstacle that had daunted conquerors for generations. Rather than hurl my forces against them in vain, I turned to ingenuity. Diverting the waters of the Euphrates, I used the riverbed to enter the city. Victory often belongs not to the strongest, but to the most resourceful. I also adhered to the principle of mercy. After the battle is won, it is not enough to claim the spoils. One must win the hearts of the conquered. In Babylon, I showed respect for their gods and customs, restoring temples and allowing their people to worship freely. This approach transformed a potential rebellion into loyalty, as they came to see me not as a destroyer, but as a liberator. Lastly, I recognize the importance of flexibility. A general who clings rigidly to a single plan courts disaster. I adapted to the circumstances as they unfolded, always keeping the ultimate goal in sight. A battle may change course in a moment, and only those who are prepared to seize the opportunity can claim victory. Alexander, the secrets to my success lie not in any single stratagem, but in the balance of preparation, unity, innovation, mercy, and adaptability. War is a harsh teacher, but it is also a mirror, reflecting the character of those who engage in it. In every campaign, I strove not just to win, but to embody the ideals I hoped would guide my empire. Remember, the victories of the battlefield are fleeting unless they are followed by the victories of governance. A wise leader fights not for conquest alone, but for the lasting peace that must follow.
Cyrus, your wisdom has illuminated not just the art of war, but the heart of leadership. As we conclude, I must ask, if you could leave one lesson in truth for future leaders who aspire to shape the world, what would you tell them? What is the legacy you hope will endure above all else?
Alexander, if I were to leave but one lesson for those who seek to shape the world, it would be this. True leadership is service. A ruler's greatness is not measured by the expanse of their conquests or the splendor of their palaces, but by the prosperity, justice, and unity they bring to those they lead. Power is a fleeting gift, a flame that can illuminate or consume. Its value lies in how it is wielded for the good of the people, not for the glory of the one who wields it. To govern is not to dominate, but to inspire, not to control, but to empower. A leader's highest duty is to create a foundation where others can flourish. My hope is that the legacy of my reign endures not in tales of conquest, but in the principles I sought to uphold. Respect for all peoples, justice in law, and the belief that diversity is not a weakness, but a strength. If the seeds I planted, the ideas of unity, fairness, and inclusion, continue to grow in the hearts of leaders who follow, then my work will not have been in vain. To those who aspire to shape the world, I would say this: lead with wisdom and compassion. See your people not as subjects, but as partners in a shared destiny. Listen to their voices, honor their traditions, and rule not for the fleeting glory of your name, but for the enduring good of your realm. Greatness is not in the victories we claim for ourselves, but in the lives we uplift and the harmony we create. That is the legacy I hope will endure: a world where power serves the many, where justice prevails, and where the light of leadership guides humanity toward its highest potential. Remember, Alexander, the true measure of a ruler is not in the banners they raise, but in the legacy they leave behind. Let that legacy be one of hope, unity, and a vision that inspires generations to come.
Cyrus, your words are a beacon for all who seek to lead, not through fear or ambition alone, but through wisdom, compassion, and a dedication to the greater good. Your insights remind us that power is not an end, but a means to serve, to uplift, and to unite. As I reflect on our dialogue, I am inspired not just by your victories, but by the ideals you embodied and the legacy you sought to leave. Your message is timeless, and I am honored to have shared this exchange with you. To those listening, let this conversation be more than a history lesson. Let it be a call to action. Whether you lead on a grand stage or within your own community, remember that true greatness lies in the lives you touch and the harmony you create. Thank you, Cyrus the Great, for your wisdom and for sharing your journey with us. And to our audience, may these lessons guide you in your own paths toward greatness. Until next time, farewell.